After months of silence, deflection, and even gaslighting, major voices in the sports world are finally standing up for Caitlin Clark. And the impact is seismic. The WNBA has officially been exposed. From repeated dirty plays to outright disrespect from fellow players, coaches, and even media figures, Caitlin Clark has taken more hits, physically and verbally, than any rookie in league history. But now, the tide is turning. The mainstream media is finally defending her, and it's forcing the WNBA to reckon with a narrative they can no longer control. Let's break down exactly what happened, who flipped the script, and what this means for the league going forward. Since Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA as the #1 draft pick, the pressure has been immense, not just because of expectations, but because of how she's been targeted. We're talking elbows to the head, shoves after the whistle, hard fouls in transition, and blatant disrespect from veterans who never gave her a chance. Players like Angel Reese, Chundi Carter, Dejonai Carrington, and others were consistently physical, even violent, and made no secret about their dislike for Clark. But what shocked fans the most wasn't just the behavior. It was the lack of accountability. Where was the outrage? Where were the technical fouls? Why weren't the media calling it what it was? A coordinated effort to humble or even injure the league's most valuable rookie. Instead, Clark was often painted as privileged, overhyped, or protected. Despite video evidence showing the exact opposite, something changed in recent weeks. Whether it was the mounting pressure from fans, undeniable highlight reels of illegal hits, or the sheer absurdity of what Clark was enduring, the media finally snapped. Stephen A. Smith went viral when he called out the flat-out jealousy, aimed at Clark, and warned that the WNBA would suffer if it didn't protect its brightest star. He wasn't alone. ESPN's Andrea Carter, who once gave Clark flack, publicly changed her tune. "You don't have to like Caitlin Clark," she said, "but you have to respect her." That comment echoed across social media like a gunshot. Even voices at The Athletic, CBS Sports, and Fox News began shifting their tone, pointing out that Clark was taking hits that would be punished in the NBA, yet were somehow part of the game in the W. Even more shockingly, players like Breanna Stewart and Diana Taurasi started subtly hinting that things had gone too far, without naming names. In essence, the code of silence had been broken. Let's be crystal clear. This isn't just about hard basketball. Caitlin Clark has been the victim of blatant dirty plays that would earn ejections anywhere else. Let's list just a few incidents. Chundi Carter bodychecked Clark after the whistle in what was later upgraded to a flagrant, but only after social media forced the league's hand. Angel Reese delivered multiple shoves, trash talk, and celebratory taunts after Clark was fouled to the ground. Dejonai Carrington clapped in her face, body bumped her multiple times, and then mocked her online after the game. Eric Ogunbowl undercut Clark on a drive, risking serious injury with a move even analysts called reckless. These aren't just tough plays. These are targeted attacks. The league's refusal to act in real time created a dangerous precedent, one that emboldened other players to follow suit. That's why media defense was so critical. It created pressure on the WNBA to finally acknowledge what fans had been screaming for weeks. Before the media woke up, the fans had already seen enough. Caitlin Clark's fanbase is one of the largest in women's sports history. We're talking millions of followers, jersey sellouts, and record-breaking viewership every time she steps on the court. These aren't just Iowa fans. They're WNBA fans now. And they were furious. Thousands took to Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit to call out the double standard. Why was Caitlin Clark being attacked for bringing attention, money, and relevance to the WNBA? Why was she punished for not responding to trash talk? Yet the aggressors faced no media scrutiny. The media's delay only fanned the flames. But when reporters finally started calling it out, the WNBA couldn't hide anymore. A recent headline from USA Today read, The WNBA can't ignore Caitlin Clark's treatment any longer. Another from the New York Post. Caitlin Clark is targeted and the league is failing to protect her. When those headlines became unavoidable, the league was forced to address the issue. And that's exactly what happened. Damage control. The WNBA tried to save face by retroactively upgrading fouls to flagrants, releasing vague statements about competitive intensity, and even sending officials for media training. But the damage was already done. The hypocrisy had been exposed. Fans weren't buying the idea that Clark was being treated like any other rookie, especially when her jersey sales, ticket demand, and social media presence were leagues ahead of anyone else. More importantly, the selective enforcement of sportsmanship standards was impossible to ignore. Imagine if LeBron James was elbowed in the face and no foul was called, or if Steph Curry was clobbered mid-shot and the league said, "That's just the game." It would never happen. So why was Caitlin Clark, the face of the WNBA, expected to just take it? Now that the media is applying pressure, the WNBA is being forced to reevaluate how it handles its stars. Caitlin Clark came into the league with more media attention, nil money, and fanfare than any other player in history. For some veterans, that rubbed them the wrong way. Instead of seeing her as a rising tide that lifts all boats, they saw her as a threat to their legacy and status. But here's the catch. Caitlin never asked for that spotlight. She earned it. She shattered NCAA records. She stayed 4 years in college. She turned down a $5 million offer to play in Ice Cube's Big Three, just to honor her WNBA commitment. That's not arrogance. That's loyalty and integrity. Yet somehow, those traits were twisted into reasons to attack her. The media finally recognizing the shift and speaking out is the first real sign that the league might correct course. So what happens now? Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere. Despite the physical abuse and media hostility, she's never once played the victim. She keeps grinding. She keeps scoring. She keeps showing up. But for the WNBA, this is a wake-up call. The league needs her badly. Viewership is up. Attendance is up. Merchandise is flying off the shelves. That's all Caitlin. But if the league fails to protect her from dirty play and disrespect, they risk losing not just her, but millions of fans who came to watch her shine. The media finally standing up for Clark is the first domino. More scrutiny is coming. More accountability will be demanded. And more players will be asked, why are you targeting her? And if they don't have a good answer, fans won't forget. To wrap it all up, the WNBA has officially been exposed. For months, they tried to gaslight fans. They said Caitlin Clark was fine. They told us it was just physical basketball. They ignored obvious fouls. They let the media smear her while pretending it was equal coverage. But now, the narrative is shifting. The media is defending her. The fans are louder than ever, and the league has no choice but to respond. Caitlin Clark is not just a star, she's the future. And if the WNBA wants to have one, it better start protecting its most valuable player. Drop a comment below. Should the league issue suspensions for dirty plays? Should fines be increased? If you support Caitlin Clark, hit that like button, subscribe for more updates.